giving me this opportunity. For a change, instead of pitching, I'm actually talking to some student entrepreneurs. So very nice to see a lot of lady potential entrepreneurs. I'm very excited to be a part of this. Yeah, needs a clap definitely. And today though my topic is sustainable entrepreneurship, I think we still need to understand a lot of the basics of entrepreneurship itself. So I might just skip a few slides, and I want to keep it short because I think we are already running short of time. Just on a high level, sustainable technologies, you need to understand that when you are building a product, these are some of the aspects that you need to keep in mind. You have to design for sustainability. I think the focus of the event today is to talk about how you're going to build from an idea to a product. When you do that, when you're doing all your prototypes and proof of concepts, there are a lot of factors that you need to keep in mind, especially with reference to today's environmental impact, the climate impact, sustainability. All these are certain flavors that you need to add to your thinking process, right? So when you design a product, just don't go, okay, there is something I want to address, I build a product and I'm ready for going to the market. That's not the way it works. There are a lot of other factors that you need to account for today, like some of the jury members mentioned about certifications. In terms of application, how is the market going to accept a product? Are we designing for the right target segment? Are we just designing just for the sake of designing, or are we really designing for a usability aspect? A lot of things you need to keep in mind. So I'm going to only focus on that slide. Go down further down. Next one, please. Yeah, it's just, so I'm only going to talk, just remember this solo. I don't talk too much beyond this. So this is 3 P's, which I need you to understand: product, process, and people. So what we mean here is, when you keep all of these factors in mind, your product design is going to be a lot more mature and lot more executable in terms of commercialization, right? So product, when you say product, design products which are eco-friendly, which are in the clean segment. Keep in mind that you are impacting the environment which your future generations are going to use. So when you design a product, are we first of all addressing the problem that we are really needing to address? Are we designing a product such that it can be usable by the end customer, right? And define, and what are the raw materials? Like you said, everybody had a big list of bill of components. A lot of you are worried more about the cost of the components. Also think in terms of how that component is going to impact the environment after the life cycle of the product is over. Right? So some of these facts that you need to keep in mind. Reducing carbon footprint. So when you say you're talking about all these microprocessors and whatever design of your product is, it is going to consume energy, what in some way or the other. Not only should it solve the problem, it should also reduce the impact that it has as a product. When you use the product, what is the impact it has on the climate? That is something that you need to keep in mind. In terms of processes, so a lot of people, like most of you are, I think, research or you're still students, you do not understand the concept of actual production. When I say I have a prototype and I'm actually going to take it to market, there is a huge difference between what you have created in your lab versus what is going to come out of a factory at some point of time. And so you need to keep a lot of those processes that are involved in manufacturing your. So there's a concept, I'm sure some of the senior professors know this concept of design to manufacture. There is you need to make sure that your design is something that can be manufactured. It's not like, I think I saw one metal prototype, right? So I'm sure you're at very early stage, but just keep in mind that if I design now, today I produced only one piece. Tomorrow, if I'm going to produce 50,000 pieces, is this design something that can be manufactured by a factory? Keep it in mind when you design even your CAD designs and all that, right? Similarly, when you're talking about design to market, what I mean by design to market is, most of you had designs, you're not keeping the end user in mind here. You need to understand that, so who are the stakeholders? Who are these? There was one solution which talked about ambulance services, right? There are so many potential users of that product. You need to understand how each of these users are actually interacting with each other. How are they going to use it? Or draw a process map to understand how this product is going to impact, which person is going to use this product in which way. When you do all of that, right, all these other aspects of, how am I going to use this, all the applications, the markets that I'm targeting, all that will become more clear and your product will be more focused. Otherwise, you have thousands of products like yours in the market. You need to understand how you are going to differentiate yourself. So keep all these are just clues for you to, I'm sure the others will add on to some of the mistakes or some of the pointers that we missed in today's presentation, but that is one thing that you need to understand. So the last point, especially the last point, is very important. People. With people who are going to use your product, they will matter a lot. Now, if I have built a lithium-ion charging device for laptops and smartphones. Right now, today it is in MVP state. I'm trying to take it to the market. I don't know if my product is actually usable. Will people really buy it? Right? Is the market ready to accept my product? Now, unless I'm able to make that customer, give him a there was an app, I think towards the end on Healthify or something, right? What is the compelling reason that you have that someone will download your app? You need to create that compelling USP or something which will make sure that yes, this person, my end customer, will actually buy my product. So that is something that you need to keep in mind. Adopt it is not just about buying it the first time; it's also about repeatability. How are they going to adopt it in their regular lifestyle? Today I'll use the app, tomorrow I'll delete it, right? Now, how do I make that guy keep coming back to my app? How do I make it use the lifetime or the sustainability of the product itself? That's something that you need to keep in mind. And of course, all the the awareness. You need to do a lot of reading. I mean, especially at this stage, as startup entrepreneurs, I think we do a lot of reading on LinkedIn because you need to understand what is the latest trends of the market, what the certifications. A lot of, the senior professors, they're all knowledgeable in understanding what is needed to take a product to the market in terms of compliances. We had this patient health confidentiality. You had certifications for medical devices when you're actually, what is needed for you to actually make it usable. Apart from that, understanding the trends in terms of technology, you have graphene, you have new lithium ion is changing, a lot of technology is changing. Unless you keep reading a lot at this stage, especially the first years, should be doing a lot of reading. So you update your LinkedIn profile, stay connected with a lot of people who are very senior in this space, follow the segments, follow them, you will understand, you'll see a lot of articles and new stuff for you to improvise on. I think that's all I had. In terms of today's presentation, I think one thing I felt that the template was, all of you are following a typical project report template. That is not the way a presentation, even for a grant purpose, you will need to be very, very specific. The words, your slide should not have long paragraphs and 25, 40 lines for us to read. We're only going to see one line. You do the talking, have 2 or 3 lines that actually convey the message. Please keep it as crisp as possible. There's a lot of, it was like a project report on a PPT, so some of you might have to correct and work on that. Other than that, I think, I feel you have to focus on 3 or 4 things, like design to market, design to manufacture, and design for sustainability. How do I make my products so that all these 3 aspects are taken care of? A lot of thinking has to go through, not just the care. I'm sure you are all biotech students, you have all your technical, you have people to help you there. Nobody will be able to help you on these other 3 aspects. You have to do your own research or meet the right incubators, get the right guidance, choose a good mentor, because with zero experience, it's going to be very, very tough for you to build a product which is commercial. Get a good mentor who can actually advise you. I'm not talking only with reference to institute professors. Get some industrial mentors, get some startup entrepreneurs as mentors who will help you to exactly build what is really needed to commercialize. That's all I had. I will not keep any more. Thank you.